So I had a suggestion on our Obsidian D20 if maybe we could do a Nether Portal. So I think it's a great idea. So let's make ourselves a real life Nether Portal. What we're going to want to do is we're going to at least try to cut some square piece off here. And since I ain't got a ton of obsidian, we're going to try to keep it at 1/4 of an inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little trick I learned to hopefully help us cut pretty evenly. Now this is obsidian, so it's pretty sharp, so I wouldn't put it past that the obsidian will cut through the rubber band eventually. But what we'll do is we'll try to cut through this obsidian here and use our rubber band as our guide for it to make somewhat of a square cut. So I think that's pretty reasonable for what we're looking to do. Let's see if we can't cut it like that and just get that whole big chunk out right there. So that looks about right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this off, and then we're going to hopefully square it up. So, as you can see, my hands are fine, but somehow I've managed to cut myself with the obsidian on my thigh. Explain it to me. I'm pushing on the sharp corners of the obsidian with my fingers, even running it across to here and there. But no, it managed to be my thigh that gets cut. Oh well, let's move on. So now that we got the obsidian all cut, what we need to do now is we need to square it up, make it look nice and pretty, and then we need to polish it. Once that's all done, I'll show you what little surprise I got for you. Now that we got these preformed, let's go inside, get these on the flat lap, and start polishing them up. Load me some Travis Tritt. Disconnect the Wi-Fi. Come on, pull the thing back down. Oh, now I've lost Wi-Fi. I've lost it. I don't even know where the daggum thing is. I'm using my wife's phone, trying to find. Now I gotta find Wi-Fi. Oh, there we go. There we go. Connect to super Wi-Fi. That's where you belong. Alright. I think we're ready. No. Right, there we go. So we got our 4 obsidian pieces somewhat polished. What we need to do is we need to piece them all together, and then once they're all dried, we can go ahead and polish them. So I'll do that and show you what it looks like when it's done. So we're going to go back to this wheel right here. What we're going to do with this wheel is just kind of make sure everything's flat and evened out throughout the whole thing. And like this right here, lower that back down. Make sure everything's nice and flat, even, lined up. And then we'll go through and hit this wheel again on all of it. And then go through the whole process and polish it right up. So what we got to do now is we got to outline the amethyst for the nether portal here. And I got one of these metallic markers here, and that's what we're going to do. And I'm actually going to outline it like this, so whenever I run it along this way, it's that outline. Now, that's not going to be naturally it. I'm going to have to use both hands for it. But I'll show you whenever we're done what it will look like. So we got the outline done for the amethyst here, which I think is going to look pretty good in the center here, but still got to wait and see. Nevertheless, people think cut right on the line, right? No, I would say cut outside of the line. Why cut outside the line? It's okay to have excess because you can grind that down to quote-unquote perfection, but you can grind it down. So that's why I would say cut outside the line, not on the line, not inside the line, just outside of it. So let's go over to the tile saw now, and let's get this all cut up. Now what we're going to do is we are going to take this right here. We're going to let it dry, not wipe it off too much. That way the lines don't go away. And then we can actually shape this up exactly how we want it now. And after that, we will start polishing the faces. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to start shaping and polishing the amethyst for the nether portal. Since the obsidian's already done. So let's go ahead and start cutting into where it fits inside. So I kind of like the way this is looking. What I may do is, well, I'll definitely have to do, is fill this in with some glue, just to make it look nice and pretty. But fill this in with some glue, and I'm going to put glue all the way around this and just let it soak in. I think that's what I'm going to do. And then flatten this out, flatten this out. I may leave a little bit of room back here to maybe put some of those like little light strands, you know what I'm talking about. Polish it all up again, make it all flat looking again, mainly just so I don't miss nothing, you know what I mean. I'm kind of paranoid about missing things, but for some, I mean, just for a prototype, really just seeing if we can do it, it's doable. So what I'm gonna do is I kind of like the way it's sitting right there. It's a little better than not. It's a little better than not. So we can glue that in. All right, we can make these edges somewhat seem to disappear. You know what I mean? And then we can grind this down to where it's flat on both ends, and then we can polish it all up together as one unit and see how it looks then. I kind of like that idea. I kind of like going that path. So let's go ahead and start doing it. But first thing we're going to have to do is go back inside and glue this all together. What we're going to do now is we're going to take some of this Loctite 480 and some of this accelerator. Hopes are is that that's going to fill the cracks some and lock it into place. Now we're just going to spray some of this accelerator on it and let it do its job on the outside at least. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side just with a quick spritz, and then I'm going to recut all this together in the hopes that it's very uniform, but that means I'm going to have to cut down both sides again, which I don't think will be too much of a problem. But yeah, that's all the thing it takes is just do that and wait. It'll fill in properly, everything like that. And you can see it's making a mess somewhat, but it is filling in those gaps. And this little chip part here, that'll knock that little chip part here right off. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut it down on the Cab King. And then once we cut it down some on the Cab King, we'll take it to the flat lap and then cut it down even more and start to polish it from there. And hopefully we'll get everything nice, flat, and neat. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that cure for about a day. I know some people let it cure for a few hours and then they go back to cutting. I'm going to let it cure for a day, and hopefully my voice will come back to normal. It's already a lot better than what it was. So I think everything is going pretty well so far when it comes down to that. A lot of vibration will actually make a stone come loose. So that's why I use Loctite 480. I know a lot of people use shellac, or not shellac, but what's that stuff? But it's used for gemstones and stuff like that. And since for some reason my fasting machine does tend to vibrate a lot when using it, I've moved to the Loctite, and it seems to hold pretty well. So if there's a good commercial for Loctite, that's it right there. Because there's nothing more infuriating to me when fasting. Now cabochon's a lot different, but when fasting, if Loctite, if any glue gives away and the stone falls off and I got to start all the way from square zero, I'm not a happy camper at that point. Alright, so we got it all glued up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and polish this and flatten it out. But in order to flatten it out, first I'm going to hit it on this wheel right here and start grinding it down until it's as flat as I can get it. Again, we're wanting to leave kind of like a primitive look to it, so not completely even everywhere. We don't want to make it look too pretty. But what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and grind it down, and then we'll move to our wheels. And hopefully we can get this little sucker polished up, and then we can light it. So let's go ahead and get everything turned on. See, and this is the actual hard part here, because look, this is wider than the room I got to work with. So I actually have to be careful when I'm doing this and grinding this down. It looks like it's coming along pretty well, though. I got to say, some of this glue is starting to kind of come off, but it's coming off in these chunks, which tells me it's the excess glue, which I'm okay with. I'm actually alright with that. What I may do is I may finish doing some of this on the flat lap over there. Mainly because it's just hard to get room with this wheel and the other ones. And I want to see if I need to fill in some of these gaps. Like that right there. Do I need to fill in that gap, or do I just need to cut down more? You know what I mean? The problem with doing the flat lap is I'm going to have to go with a higher grit. Or lower grit. Something I kind of don't want to do. And if I do end up doing this on like my fasting machine laps, I'm worried that it'll start tearing the laps to pieces. Which I daggum sure don't want to do. You know what? We're gonna keep working on this. We're gonna keep working on this. I'm not gonna spend like $300-400 replacing my laps. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take this in and hit it up with a flat lap. While I didn't really want to hit it on the flat lap to run my laps or to really mess up the look I'm going for, I think I'll have to, and I'm going to have to glue in some of this glue in here so it sets. We may have to do that, which is fine. And while I'm not trying to go for a perfect look, I'm trying to go for like a handmade look. And that's why I'm using the Cab King instead of the flat lap as well. I think right now to achieve what I want to achieve, we need to go and work on that flat lap with this. So let's go ahead and go in there and re-glue this first. And hopefully the glue will stay in the cracks. And then we can flat lap it and then bring it back out here and polish it up out here. We'll give it a perfect look, a little more than I wanted to, but it'll also achieve what I'm trying to achieve here. So let's go ahead and go do that. All right, so we're back. I had to fill it in a little bit more before coming back out here, but she's pretty flat. So that's pretty good. It worked pretty well on the flat lap. I weren't going to finish polishing on it, but it's pretty good. Can't complain so far. But we're going to finish it up on these wheels here. Hopefully, I got enough room. So let's get to it. So again, I didn't want to do this to be perfect. Don't need to be perfect with it. Because if you're doing a nether portal, I'm assuming it's just people doing it. You know what I mean? I polished it up with the scratches in there, which I thought was a nice little touch. But I think it looks pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie, I think it looks pretty cool. Even though it's not like 100% perfectly polished, I think it looks good. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit it up, make it a little more shiny, and then we're gonna take it inside and light this sucker. Light it. Boy, doesn't that look beautiful. That amethyst and the obsidian all together. You even see the light shining through the obsidian some, which even makes it even cooler. Let's get a little closer, a little all-around look at this thing. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I hope you are too. If you like this video, make sure to like, share, subscribe. Yeah, we'll see you next time. Be safe, take care, and God bless.